that our, really rather loose, concept of religion covers, and thus within the extension of our term, religion. On the emic side, scholars worry that the Romans might not have had a discrete concept of religion, and if they did not have the concept, they would not have had the thing. On these grounds, we may equally doubt whether they had an economy or even tuberculosis. This worry reflects a confusion about social ontology. While a community requires a concept of, say, tribunatus plebis, plebeian tribuneship, in order to have plebeian tribunes, it need not have an explicit concept of economy in order to have an economy. In other words, the systematic and discoverable consequences of producing, consuming, trading, loaning, buying, selling, and so on. By the same token, a society need not have an explicit concept of religion to have religion. That is, to have practices that involve doing things to, for, with, directed toward, or significantly involving gods, spirits, or other non-human entities. Thus, roughly, we may distinguish between social things, such as plebeian tribuneships and plebeian tribunes, that are, in a sense, created by the very concept of them and by the practices undertaken in light of the concept, and social things that arise as a result of various more or less, often less, systematic attitudes and practices, like producing and consuming, for which organizing and clarifying concepts, etic or emic, such as economy, may subsequently be invented. Religion belongs to this latter group. Concepts and terms such as economy or religion confer all sorts of cognitive and practical powers on their possessors, even when they don't create their subjects ex nihilo, and thus one must attend to the semantic fields of the lexemes in a given language and to the conceptual resources of a given linguistic community. As sketchy as their understanding of the economy may have been, Romans like the Pontifex Cotta in Cicero's De Natura Deorum could nonetheless array activities such as praying to gods and performing rituals involving gods under the catch-all phrase omnis populi Romani religio, the entire religion of the Roman people. That Cotta could then refer to the constituent parts of religio as religionis does no harm to the singular's usage as an umbrella term. Compare how we might speak both of particular sports and also of sport in general. Moreover, Cicero would say, propria voce, things like this: sua quique civitate religio est nostra nobis. Each city-state has its own religion, we have ours. This book is about the religio of Cicero's city-state in the Republican period. I use the term religion in a sense that I think he and the Pontifex Cotta would have recognized, to refer to Rome's sacra et auspicia, rituals of sacrifice and of the auspices, and their associated gods, priests, prayers, ritual practices, and norms. I hope that Cotta would approve as well of my undertaking, which is to challenge the commonplace that belief is not a category of much relevance to the study of Roman religion. After all, Cotta claimed that he himself accepted traditional Roman beliefs, opiniones, about the gods and their cult. Belief, I argue here, is a human universal. It is the contents of beliefs and the beliefs about belief that vary. Everyone knows that Italians kiss, Japanese bow, and Americans shake hands. All these practices are local expressions of the universal act of greeting. I endeavor in this book to keep one eye always on the universal, that is, on belief as a human capacity, and another on particulars such as Cotta's opiniones about the gods of Rome and their cult. I seek to show how the Romans recruited a cognitive faculty common to our species in order to create a unique and distinctive religious world of their own. Introduction. Roman Religion, From Intuitions to Institutions. There is no living being except man that has any conception of God, and among men themselves there is no race so mild or so wild that it does not know that one must believe God to exist, even if it does not know what sort of being one ought to believe God to be. Cicero, De Legibus, 1.24.